the table. I'm Amy.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Mark.
And today we're going through the next section of my top 30 games of all time. We're doing section 11 through
20.
I jumped ahead on the numbers. Shall we get on with the show?
Number 20.
And kicking us off today is Century Spice Road Golem Edition.
Of course. It would
Specifically Golem.
It's so gorgeous. I can't resist it. I'm really chuffed that they're bringing out an expansion for it finally. They caved. So that's exciting. I'm so excited for that.
I was really surprised.
I was.
Because they were like, no, this is standalone.
Yeah, they're like, no, never gonna do it, never gonna do it. And luckily the fans
that's true.
have triumphed and they have caved and they're doing it. And I'm so happy because I love it, and it's really good for my colourblind friend Matt as well. He cannot do Century Spice Road at all.
Okay.
He literally cannot play it. And Golem Edition, he can manage.
The colours are
The colours, and he can just manage. I really like the art. I think it really stands out from Century Spice Road. The regular edition, which is it's still a pretty game, but it's quite bland.
And you've seen it all before.
And
standard person with standard spice. Standard Arabian background.
Instead of amazing, beautiful golem munching on some crystals. And I just think it's amazing. And it still incorporates the engine building, which I really like with Century Spice Road. So obviously it's the same game essentially, but it's just a pretty version of the same game.
I really like Century Spice Road, actually. It's of the 3 Century games, it's my favourite.
Yeah.
Which was a surprise to me. I was expecting to like the subsequent ones a bit more because they were a bit heavier, a bit more going on. But the simplicity of the original is fantastic.
And I think it really brings that engine building element into... Yes. It just perfects it. It's just
so quick as well.
Done. Yeah.
I think I prefer 3. So I'll be looking forward to the third version of it over this one, but I prefer this one over the second. You say that people cave, but they happen to leave the art on the box just in case, because obviously all the art boxes all geometry online when you put them into one big scene, and they left themselves a bit of wiggle room, so it wasn't just...
It's also interesting, I think, how effectively just changing the theme and the artwork has made such a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so theme matters is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah!
Well, you can't see Steve's off shot.
I'll get him over.
Number 19.
Next up is Shadowhunters.
I played Shadowhunters.
Oh, you have,
Played back in the Poacher years ago.
Oh.
This is the big...
3
social deduction,
3 by 3... Oh, is it not the one that I thought it was? Oh,
okay, it's... you just got a board and a character, which is secret, and you are either... You're one of 3 teams.
Werewolf, a vampire, or a hunter.
Or you're a hunter, you're a vampire, or you're a neutral.
A neutral, that's it.
So the neutrals have their own special win conditions.
Okay.
And it's slightly poorly translated from Japanese, which makes it all the more hilarious. Because some of the weapons are just ridiculous. And it's semi-social deduction, but you can go in all guns a-blazing and you can just go on a bit of a slaughter fest and see how it ends up, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it just works. It's a bit outdated, I would have said, but actually I still find it holds up pretty well with most people that I ever play it with, and it does up to quite a decent player count. I think it's like 8 players or something. So it's a quick game, a quick social deduction game that does up to 8 players with some really interesting mechanics, some really interesting items, and it's got a hermit mechanic, it's called, where you give a card to another player, and based off what they do, because the card will tell them, do this if you're a shadow, do this if you're a hunter, if neither, do nothing, then you get that key piece of information, but all the other players get to see the action that happens as a result of the card, and it could confirm or deny if they're on your team or not. And then you can start to work together if you figure it out.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played it, but I do remember playing it several times.
Yeah.
We played it loads back in the day.
It's one of those games that was very popular amongst a few people, and it would always appear.
It was before social deduction games really became popular, before One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and the only alternative really was playing like Ultimate Werewolf, the original.
Much longer. Well, this was about 45 minutes. Maybe less than that.
Sometimes less. It depends on what tactics people are going for. If they're going on the full-on slaughterfest, it happens quicker because you're then trying to really quickly deduce, do I bother saving that person that they're beating up for no reason? Do I need to rescue them? Do I not? Like, you've really got to then make some really rash decisions, which I think is a benefit of the game. I don't think it is a detriment to it, personally.
I think it is a little bit dated now compared with modern social deduction games, but I still think it's a really solid choice, and I have enjoyed many, many games of this, as I say, back in the day. Mm-hmm. Good choice.
Number 18.
Got to kick a party game in here somewhere, haven't we? So Scrawl.
Scrawl, is that the slightly dodgy?
Yes, it is. It's Telestrations, but slightly adult sometimes.
Yes.
But I only pick it above Telestrations because I think some of the Telestrations illustrations are actually too simple. And so then it becomes boring.
Yes. Yeah, that is
because
true.
you're like, it's like carrot. Well, carrot's always going to get round. Whereas Scrawl,
I don't know. I've seen some people.
I don't know. But although Scrawl is a bit more outrageous, it's not necessarily the outrageous nature of the game that appeals to me. It's the fact that because it's got really weird things on the card, it's hard to draw, and that's what makes it funny.
Telestrations, the good bit's not scoring well. The best bit is when it all falls apart.
Yeah.
And find that key bit where somebody goes, you bad.
That's where it happened,
it's not about winning or losing.
No, but that's why it fits nicely in the party game category. Doesn't matter who wins, you're just there for the ride, and it can be so funny. And like, I'm an artist as well. I love drawing, and so being able to totally just go ham on something and just make something totally outrageous because somebody thought the previous thing was a disco dancer on an ice skating rink, and here I am attempting to do that in a few seconds. It's great.
She's really good as well. So when we play this, usually you get some shocking drawings to go around, and then one comes around, and you're like, oh, this is Amy's. I can tell exactly what this is. My two favourite bits are when you get something you're like, I haven't got a clue how to draw this, and because of the time limit, you're like, I'll just give it my best shot, and you hand it over, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not going to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And the other one then is when someone hands you a drawing, you're like, what? What's that? How in the world am I supposed to get that?
But you've got to describe it somehow, and you find a way.
And you're right, with Scrawl, it's far more likely you're going to be in that situation.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the fact that it's an adult party game that I like it, it's just the fact that you're more likely to get into the situation that makes the game really, really fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Number 17.
Long title, Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space.
Oh, it's the one with the grid.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
It's I do really like what are they called? Games where you hidden
movement.
Yeah, hidden movement games. That's it. But I don't know of a lot of them. I really like Last Friday as well, but this one takes the cake for me. I love it. I like that there are different game modes. There's lots of different maps you can play on. There's different abilities if you'd like to implement them, but if you're playing with new players, I'd play without to begin with, and I still have lots of fun. It's really, really interactive with the other players because you're constantly drawing cards, and then you announce whether you've made a noise and in what sector, or whether you've been silent. And there are certain areas you can move in, you're allowed to claim you're silent. And essentially, usually with equal players, if you've got them, half of you will be aliens, half of you will be humans. The humans are trying to get to specific points on the map to get out of the escape pods, and the aliens are trying to catch them and turn them into aliens.
Because the team versus team thing is quite unusual, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of these hidden movement games, it's one versus many, isn't it?
Yeah.
So things like Scotland Yard originally, or Letters from Whitechapel, Fury or Dracula, all those is one person.
Yeah, against.
And no one knows where they are. But the team thing works really well in this.
It does, yeah. I really enjoy it.
I haven't played it in ages, and that's why it's hard to. I think I played it the year it came out, and I remember it.
Kind of draw it,
because you've got
you wipe off.
the new version had.
Well, that's the premium edition. Actually, you can just get a pencil and paper one. Okay. The whiteboard is. It's still not an expensive game by anyone's means, so it's way worth the money. It's a high player count again, which I value quite highly.
Yeah.
Lots of people can play, and it's not a slow game because it's literally pick up a card, play it, save whether you've made noise or not, and write down where you've been.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I'd really like to play it again. Yeah, it's one of the few I've just not seen
because
at the table.
on each person's go, they're doing something. You're kind of charting where you think people are and who you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then if you're an alien, you have to announce that you're going to attack. Obviously, this completely reveals your identity as an alien. So you've got to be pretty sure the first time you attack a space that player is exactly there. And I also think the movement speed is interesting because aliens can move 2 spaces, but humans can only move 1 at a time. Although this might seem overpowered, it's really not. Aliens can do things like double back on themselves and just kind of walk around in a circle for ages because they think they've cornered someone and actually they're over the other side of the map. So it's not an overpowered ability. It's just a way of allowing the aliens to actually win.
For a simplified, streamlined hidden movement game, I think it does the job very well.
Number 16.
Everyone's favourite, Kakalak and Poker!
Okay.
Yep, perfectly good choice.
Yeah, absolutely excellent. Yeah, so many laughs in so many situations. It had to make the list. It is one of my favourite games. It goes everywhere with me. It's a simple deck of cards and bam.
I didn't realise you liked it quite this much, actually.
I really like it.
I mean, whenever it gets mentioned, Amy's always like, woo, yeah! And I'm kind of assuming she's just poking fun at me because I really don't like it. But you actually really like it.
I really like it, yeah. I
really like it. And Steve really likes it. It's just you.
I think it's one of those games that within... so I'm a board game demoer as well. And within the demo group, there's a lot of jokes about Kakalak and Poker and how it's always a fly. So that's what we always say. And because that kind of internal meme has spun round this game for me, I just can't help but be in fits of laughter every time I play. And it's so simple and you can just play it anywhere. And it's just great. And we always make it a bit more fun by kind of pronouncing, because on the back of the game it has all of the bugs in different languages.
Oh, okay.
I remember we were at McDonald's in France once and we were just shouting out bug names and all the workers were looking at us like, why are they shouting about cockroaches? It was great.
I don't think it's a bad game, I should say. In fact, I might be able to admit that it's a good game, but I just really don't like it. And it is because it is just like pure bluffing, effectively, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called Bug Bluff. That's what it translates to in French, I think. And it is, it's a pure bluffing game. Yeah. I just think it's really funny in that regard, and it's not to be taken seriously. So what's the harm?
Don't blink till you see the whites of their buggy eyes. It's just like when you receive them, just go straight away. It's a fly. You've not even looked at it.
Always.
Then you pass it back to you, and you go, "Hi, still flying."
Stupid game.
Number 15.
Next up, Tiny Epic Galaxies.
I've played a few of the Tiny Epic series, but not this one.
Have you not?
I have played this one.
I'm going to have to crack that one out sometime. No, it's my favourite of the ones I have played so far of the Tiny Epic series. I really like the Tiny Epic series generally, but I think Tiny Epic Galaxies for me just takes it away, really. It's just excellent. I don't think I've ever not enjoyed a game of Tiny Epic Galaxies, and it really is epic. It takes quite a while to play, but still that small box, nice and portable. Essentially, you're just going around the galaxy, you're trying to complete missions, you have ships that you can launch and you put them on planets, and the planets have different gauges, and you pop those gauges up for each dice that you roll that has that symbol on your turn. You can spend, I can't remember what it is it like electricity or something? I don't remember the resource names, but you can spend some resources to copy actions as well, and I love copy action mechanics. Okay. So good. So you can try and speed your way to be able to complete your planets, and I think it's when you've got someone completes 9 or 15, there's a specific number, I always have to check. Planets, the game ends, you count up your points and see who's the winner. But essentially it's a resource management and almost sort of worker placement games in that you're placing your ships on planets, and it can be quite crucial because it depends. If you want to activate the planet's ability, you place your ship on the planet. If you would like to try and gain the planet, you have to go on the track around the outside. You don't activate the ability. So
okay,
it's got some really, really nice little mechanics with that.
I'll have to try that one.
Yeah, it's my preferred of the ones I've played. I guess I'm not quite much a fan of the other ones, but Galaxies in particular is a very good game.
My favourite was Tiny Epic Quest. Was it the one you bought to France?
Yeah. I really like Tiny Epic Quest as well, but Tiny Epic Galaxies just about takes it for me. Quest would be my very close second on that one if I was ranking the Tiny Epic games. Quest. I think Quest has a bit more design points for me. I think the design is slightly sleeker and nicer, but I think that was further along in the line of games that they did. I think Tiny Epic Galaxies was one of the first ones. And so I think that's just a teething thing, really.
Okay.
Number 14.
More space with Space Base.
Space Base.
I know
Space
it. I haven't played
Base.
Is that the one with the huge
The row
row
of
of cards,
cards.
and you get the ones at the top and the That is very good, actually.
I really like it. It's so good. You played it in the end with...
I played in France.
Was it with me? Yeah.
And we had that ridiculous, was it 8-player game?
Yes, it was ridiculous. Yeah, we played with all
Never
of the
do that.
expansion. Don't do that. It was nuts, but it was fun. I will say, actually, on that note, I don't like it with the Shy Pluto expansion. Specifically that expansion. It would not be on this list if that was included in the game that I had to play.
Okay.
It would go off my top 30. Goodbye. I just don't like it. I think it overcomplicates the whole game, and it's not... I mean, it's not a complicated game, but it's certainly not a beginner's game by any means. But it's just got a really interesting mechanic, and I can't really put a name to it.
It's a little bit like Machikoro, isn't it?
A lot of people say that
And you're trying to trigger dice rolls.
Yeah.
And you play cards and kind of upgrade your cards to make certain rolls on the dice really good for you.
Yeah, but the thing is, when other people take their turns, their dice rolls also affect you, because anything that you have swapped out of a slot and turned upside down, the red cards will activate when it's not your turn. So if Mark rolled a 9, and in my 9 slot I had some abilities that I had ditched from earlier in the game that maybe get me a coin or two, I can ramp those up when it's not my turn, and then I can spend them on my turn, which is, I think, a really excellent mechanic. I'm not a big fan of Machikoro, but I love Space Base.
I would agree. I'm not a fan of Machikoro either. But one of the really nice things about this is the Elysium thing, where the card will have one function, and then you can kind of, as you say, turn it to the red side.
Oh, and it has a different
function.
Okay, yeah.
The original thing stops working, and it's like, but this is good, but I want to get this, but then I'm trying to decide when to move things up. It's really
it's quite crucial. Yeah.
It's really, really good. Yeah. I do really like it.
Number 13.
Quite new, but Letter Jam.
Ah, wow, that's very new.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's actually out for retail purchase yet in the UK, but I really, really love it. And I'm not great at spelling, but I've had so much fun playing it. I just know that it's a game that I jam with. Like, it's just something that really gets me. There's something about it that I know I'm just going to get a lot of play out of, and it deserves to be here on this list because of just the experiences I've had so far. How I know that no matter what sort of players I'm playing with, I should be able to adapt my play style. So even if I'm playing with people that are younger or older or I don't know very well, I should be able to adapt my play style to be able to suit that.
I think the handicap system works really well.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing with Noah, my son, for example, we can just give him a shorter word that he has to figure out. So that's really nice. Love the fact that it's cooperative.
Yeah.
Like cooperative word game. It's fantastic.
Yes.
In terms of that kind of Scrabble trying to make words with letters. I've never seen that before in that context.
No, I love Scrabble style games. So I'm a big Bananagrams fan and things like that as a filler style game. Whereas this has the filler feel where it's light and fun, but with the length of almost a full scale game.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played a game the other day and I was expecting it to be quite quick, and we actually were there for quite a while, but I was really tired. I actually wanted to go home. But it was great. I had loads of fun and I don't regret staying at all. And I'm now, every time anyone asks me to play Letter Jam, it's going to be a yes.
The only thing I find, apart from the fact that, first thing you need to realise is it's very group dependent. You really need the right group to play this game. They've got to enjoy making words out of letters. Yeah. And some people just don't play with them. But the second thing is that it can be quite dependent, a bit like Scrabble, on the letters that happen to come out. You've got like a selection of letters on the table, and if you end up with no vowels at all, you all sort of sit there going, oh, I can make a 3-letter word that helps one of you, which is just no help at all, really. So it can be a bit frustrating when that happens.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if there was some way that you could mitigate that more. There's always the wild in the
There's
middle.
the wild card, but I use it sparingly, but...
It's just so hard to figure out your word, isn't it? Or your letter, when they use the wild card as the problem.
Sometimes the wild card can be used in such a fabulous way. Like, Steve used it to spell bananas, and that was incredible, because we knew there was no word that used that many A's in that repetition. So we were like, brilliant. So sometimes it can be used just brilliantly, but I think some people use it as a scapegoat, a bit like, I really can't make anything else.
It makes it much easier to make a word.
Yeah.
But what you don't realise at first is it makes it much harder for everyone else to guess the word.
Yeah, because they've got 2 blanks to fill in then.
Star, blank.
But, hey.
It is very good.
I've liked this more the more I've played it. I've enjoyed it, I think, whether it's because having the first past initial play, understand the rules exactly, and so the group, obviously say because it's group dependent, if everybody knows what they're doing and going and doing, I think it's a more fun game. I think the actual first game, especially with people who won't like that sort of game anyway, but if you know you like that style of game and you're playing with everybody who already knows they like it, I think you'll enjoy it much more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Number 12.
Wingspan.
Ah. It's a controversial choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you like it so much, Amy?
It's just great. I like it. I think there's a little bit of controversy surrounding it, which is absolutely fair, and I agree with most of it. But the bit I don't agree with is that it's not a good game, because I think, a lot of people expected it to be a heavier game than it was, and so it's let some people down.
Yeah.
But if you take it for face value, I really enjoy playing every time I do. I think the selection of actions you can do and sort of the engine building you go through when you're placing, when you're choosing an action, so then you go down the birds and activate each of their abilities if they have reactivatable abilities, is really unique, and I like it, and I think it's got just something about it. I think the game itself is absolutely stunning.
Yes, the way it looks.
It's just stunning. It's so pretty, and that drew me in at the start, and then the more I played it, the more I realised I was really enjoying myself, and I really enjoy teaching it to people as well. So I think that, for me, is something that I really like, is that it's easy to teach people. And I think that's something that maybe it doesn't get credit for, is that actually it's really easy to learn.
The engine building you say with the cards, when you get to for the whole row, is great. That is definitely the best bit about the game, for me at least. As a whole, it doesn't appeal to me a great deal. Having said that, it clearly appeals to a lot of people. A lot. Like, I've come across a lot of people who really like it.
Yeah, I really like it.
So I think it's just one of those things where it's a miss for me, but I can see it is clearly a very good game.
Yeah, for me, it's a solid game. I just found it, for me, just a bit forgettable.
Yeah.
That was I appreciate it much better than anything I could ever do, but it's like it left no impression on me.
Fell under your radar a bit.
Yeah, I played it, I was like, it's fine. I think I can play something like this. I can probably pick something else, but you see, a lot of people are playing it, enjoying it. There's some people who really rave about it.
I think it's just. I think one of the things I really like about it is its sheer simplicity. The moment that you understand the engine building and how things trickle down, you've got the whole game essentially. You understand what you're doing, and I think that's the only complicated bit about it. And I don't think it's that taxing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
The theme is a big thing, I think.
Yeah.
Because for me, I've no interest at all. I don't like the artwork, although I can appreciate the artwork's very good.
I really like it.
Again,
I think it's great. Thing. Yeah, I really like they've used, because some of the mechanics rely on the realism of the birds. I like that the illustrations reflect that.
Mm. But obviously, if the theme grabs you, I can see it being a great package.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'd rather have goblins, dwarves or something.
Goblin Span, coming next.
Number 11.
Ganshon Clever.
Oh, yeah, that's a good choice.
I pronounced that wrong, but berate me in the comments. It's a roll and write. I like roll and writes. None of them tend to get this high up for me. Gantron Clever is like my pinnacle of roll and writes. It's my favourite roll and write. I love it to pieces. I could play it anywhere. I could play it on a ferry. I could play it on the playground floor. I could play it absolutely anywhere.
You literally can with Gantron Clever as well.
I did, yeah. I have both of those things. So it's excellent. I think that a game that is so flexible like that, but still plays like quite heavily and quite thinky, and its sequel is quite good as well. I do enjoy it, but I think the first one really just takes the cake for me.
It's my favourite roll and write as well, I think. It's really, really good. And for me, it strikes that great balance between having some very interesting engine building and being heavier than it appeals.
Yeah.
And yet being simple enough that I can play it with my family, for example.
Yes, yes.
So that middleweight ground just sits perfectly for me in terms of the general people I want to play with. Because you can play it with heavy gamers, can't you? You can bring it out on our Thursday night heavy gaming session.
Absolutely.
Everyone's very happy to play.
Yeah.
But to also be able to play that same game with family members, super versatile.
Not a lot of games hit that nail on the head like that.
Yeah.
And this one does. So although it's not got any amazing theme or like the box doesn't draw you in, I don't think it needs it. It doesn't need any of that because it just works.
Very snappy. Lots of decisions, but all the decision space isn't too much.
No, it's not too much that you get AP.
You don't get overwhelmed by it.
No.
And decisions are usually, I think that's probably the best one for me, but there's still a lot of...
There's not someone sat there like, which one should I go for?
Yeah.
It's usually, okay, I've got A, B or C. Yeah, B's probably going to benefit me more. Done.
Great choice.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe on Instagram and Facebook. Why are you laughing?
You're very to the point.
Do it. Do it now. We should just have that. Do it. Just cut. Okay, let's try that again. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you have any opinions on what I spoke about today, please pop them in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, if you think there was a better choice in one of the categories, like the roll and write or things like that. That would be amazing. It'd be great to hear your guys' feedback. Don't forget to tune in next time.
Bye.
Bye.